Welcome to finance, business, and investing. First, let's take care of something. $1 million doesn't mean what it used to. Even though it won't be enough to live in luxury for the rest of your life, it would make your life a lot better than it is now. Here is something that 99% of people don't know, which is why they aren't in the top 1%. You don't earn $1 million. You make $1 million. There are very few jobs that can get you there, like being a professional athlete, singer, or top-level software engineer. But for most other jobs, you won't even come close. That's why you have to make something of value and trade it for money. By the end of this video, we'll show you how to get $1 million by force. From nothing to $1 million can take anywhere from 3 to 10 years, depending on your skills, tech skills, relationships, and how well you use the tools you have. If you know how to do all three, there's no reason why you can't get to $1 million in 3 years by force. Even if you're starting from scratch, people do it all the time now in many different fields, so don't worry. We won't try to sell you a course or tell you about a new cryptocurrency or NFT. This video tells you about a few things you can do. Start paying close attention to the graph below right now to get closer to that $1 million. For this is based on both our own experience and the information we've gathered from the companies we have money in. All of them have the same shape. Even though your own schedule might be a little different. Some people may be able to do it in 3 years, while others will need more time. The process is pretty much the same for most companies. If you look at the graph, you'll be able to see that growth has gone through 3 very different stages. There isn't much going on. You're trying so hard, but everything is a mess. You don't know what to do, who to hire, what the customer wants, what your business model is, and a lot more. This is what we call the learn and build phase. This is the time to figure things out. In this time frame, people will not care about what you do or how hard you try. They will laugh at your goals and not care about anything you do. They'll tell you to do something different. It's been over a year, and nothing has happened. At this point, 90% of businesses give up, but you're not one of them. You'll keep your head down and build, learning quickly as you go. The faster you can learn something new and put it to use, the faster you'll be able to grow. This is why we made learning mastery. Being able to learn how to learn is probably the most important thing you can do. If you're in the early stages of your growth in phase 1, you're doing almost all of the work on a shoe store budget, you have a hand in everything, and you're learning the skills you need to move on to phase 2. It's very different from phase 1 because now some of the things you learned in phase 1 are starting to take off. You've put together a minimum viable team, you have a few customers, and the business model has been proven. Now all you have to do is do it again and again. We call phase 2 optimize traction because the graph is almost straight. You can start to change small things. You train people and hire more specialized talent. You're still in charge of your growth journey, and it feels like you've got it all figured out at this point. In the optimized traction phase, you know what your competitors are doing and how they're moving, and you're actively competing with them for customers, attention, followers, etc. You are getting better, but you still don't stand out enough. You haven't found your secret sauce yet. You just want to make the whole process as easy as possible. Get rid of all the fat building systems and hire people to do some of the things you used to do. Then you can take a step back, zoom out, and look at the bigger picture, which is when it happens. Phase 3 is called the lift-off stage page. Pay close attention to the graph, as this is where more than 90% of your wealth will be made. Here, something just makes sense. The lift-off stage usually happens when you figure out how to scale exponentially over time. Instead of building something once and selling it once, you figure out how to build something once and sell it 1,000,000 times. Instead of picking up one customer after another, your focus shifts to building things that bring in customers consistently. In phase 3, you stop trying to get the client. Instead, you attract customers to you and your brand name gets known. Your sales funnel starts to work, your ads have a positive return on investment, and customers start recommending you to others through word of mouth. For the first time in your life, this puts you in a very strange situation. Demand is higher than what you can deliver. Find a way to meet that need, and you'll win. This is how your financial journey will go. If you want to take advantage of exponential growth, you have to be willing to take on asymmetric risk. It is the quickest way to get money. As an employee, you can't grow faster and faster. You need to set up a business and form a company. So how exactly do you do it? How can you use force to get $1 million? Well, if you look at the graph we talked about earlier, you might notice that there are 10 different points marked with letters of the alphabet. Now, we'll go over these 10 steps with you. You can figure out where you are on your path. You start in the left corner at 0, with only a vague idea of where to go. You can see that. From the corner to the first point is a long way. This is the day you decide to start a business. This is also the first day you get to work on your business. For example, you might register a domain name, set up a website, list your first product, or let the world know that you're now doing this. You're spending your own money on this video, which is terrible because you don't have that much. Let's say you start with less than $100. That's when you should use all of the technological advances you can. Next, you have the B point. You've been putting things together for a while. There's been some interest, but not much has changed. You're learning a lot, but you're also starting to doubt yourself. Since you first thought of this idea almost a year ago, not much has changed. This is the point where most people give up. The B point is the test, to see who will keep going. You're not making money, but you're getting better. At this point, only true discipline and determination can break through a lot of rejection. You'll have to send 100D. To do it the hard way. MS. To get a good answer. To get one order, you'll need to post 100 photos to Instagram. You'll have to cold call 100 businesses until one of them lets you pitch and maybe makes a sale. You'll have to do this 100 times, and then 100 more times. At the B point, you start to figure out how to make money. If it takes 100 pitches to get a client, then you should do 500 pitches. You can take care of yourself for the rest of your life if you need to. And do you plan to quit after 6 months or a year? What's wrong with your attention? You're here to stay for a while. With all of that work, you'll get to the C point. It's not much, but it's honest work, and you finally know how hard you have to work to get one client. This is the moment that will make or break a business. This is when you realize you can keep doing it because your product or service works. All that needs to be done is to keep going. The C point is the moment when an idea that is being put into action becomes real. At this point, you're still doing almost everything yourself. You're still the designer, you're still in charge of shipping and services, you're still the tech support person, and you're still the sales agent. We know it's hard, but if you keep going, things will start to look better. When we get to the D point, you'll have been on this trip for almost 2 years. When things are slowly getting better and there are a few happy customers in the business, a little bit of money is coming in. You've been very busy for a while, and now you realize you need some help. At the D point, you're getting your first employee. Don't get us wrong, you still work at 100% of your own capacity, but there's someone else working with you. Just remember that they are not you, and they will never be able to work as hard or as thoroughly as you do. But they do make money and make your life a little easier, which lets you focus on growing the business. At this point, you're still not getting paid, but you are paying this person. Basically, the money that comes in goes to pay for your first employee. But that's okay, because now that you have this new help, you can see how the business is growing, and you can steadily bring in more money, which is the point. Even though it doesn't look like much, you're killing it right now. You found a way to grow your business that is both stable and easy to follow. And you now know how to hire people. If you look at the graph, you can see that you're making at least twice as much money as you did before. You already know what to do. You're not going to go to a club instead, right? You'll invest every single dollar you get. You're still living way below what you can afford. But this is a game where you have to wait to get something. You're eating crap right now so you can eat whatever you want later. So you hire someone else to help boost sales even more, and guess what? You're now at the F point. You've already hired a few people, and the chart is going up, so you start to think bigger. You're getting a little more technical with your business now that you know what works and what doesn't, and you're making a lot more money than you ever have before. This is where you usually improve your products or services and your infrastructure. You put money into a new website, redesign the products, and start buying raw materials in bulk. This is because you now know your customer well enough to be able to negotiate prices and make more money. You've been working on this for 3 years. And for the first time, you know exactly what to do to make your business grow. So you reinvest everything, make a few changes, and keep up with the grind, and it shows that you do this over and over again until you hit that G-spot. Okay, we know it's a childish joke, but we're going to keep going with it. For the first time ever, we're going to the G point. Your wealth is now over $100,000 and you feel like you're on top of the world. You know the customer, you know how to make things, but there's one thing you don't know how to do: wide distribution. People are willing to pay for what you sell because it is good. This is the best place to be. Here is where you need to pay attention to your marketing. You need a way to reach more people that will last. Start experimenting with some of the money you're making, Beaver. Be very careful, because at this point a lot of smaller companies will come to your door promising the moon. A lot of them are full of crap. They don't care about your business, and they don't understand it. They only want money from you. The problem is that you don't know which is which. As with everything else in life, you'll have to kiss a few frogs until you find one that turns into a prince. This is usually the time when you have someone working full-time on your marketing, and then, boom, it happens. There is a trouble with the H point. You didn't think that the marketing part would work so well that you're now full. You just can't keep up with how much people want. You are now having to turn down orders because you don't have the infrastructure to handle them all. Don't worry. Okay, this is a great situation for you to be in, lucky you. The money is coming into the business. You can use that money to hire more people, buy some new tools, and automate what you can to speed up production even more. Several people work for your business and take care of different tasks. You have people working on production, sales, and marketing, and even more important, you have a manager in place who makes sure the business runs smoothly on a day-to-day basis. Your main goals are for your business to grow and for the product or service you sell to be of high quality. At this point, you should be very careful because the size of the business and the number of men involved means that the quality will have to go down. Remember that they don't care as much as you do about the little things. So quality control is important. People are so eager to buy from you because of how good your products are. You can now make money off of all the attention you're getting with the new structure. Flip the switch, I point, if you've been able to keep and even improve the quality of your product or service and market it well enough to reach the customers you want. Your business is now growing at a very fast rate. You probably make between $1 million and $5 million a year, but you don't have much money for yourself. These people don't know about product margins or what it takes to keep people on the payroll. They also don't know about advertising budgets or how to balance everything to get a good return on investment and build a solid business. It's hard to do this because there are a lot of moving parts that need to be taken into account. You pay taxes, you buy equipment, and almost all of the money you make goes back into the business at this point. This is the first time you start to slowly improve your life. This is the I point because of this. It's all about you. You have to train your brain to think about growth instead of pleasure until you reach this point. It doesn't mean you have to suffer, but you need to be careful with your spending because it's a slippery slope. At this point, you can step back and take a different look at the business. At this point, you'll use Pareto's law to develop your business. 20% of your efforts will give you 80% of the reward. So keep putting all of your efforts into that. 20%. You look for big business deals or strategic partnerships that will bring you value over a long period of time. You sell in bulk to a wholesaler instead of to individual customers. Instead of hiring a single person, you give a part of the job to a full-fledged business. This kind of work is what will keep the business growing at such a fast rate that it will eventually reach the J point. You know what J stands for, right? At this point, you've built a business that is strong enough to support you and your family for the foreseeable future. Not only is your business profitable, but you can also pay yourself large dividends and bonuses. Your business is now worth more than $10 million. You're happy and proud that you've made it this far. Your work is done. It depends on whether you want to keep growing the business or sell it for a lot of money. Those of you who are building will find this kind of video to be very helpful. We could have easily put all of this information into a workshop or seminar and charged people for it, but we're giving it all away for free. All we ask in return is that you subscribe to our channel and help this community grow. So that more and more people can benefit from financial education, take a close look at the 3 stages of growth and the 10-letter points that are spread across the line. Think about where you are in your financial journey right now, share it with the community in the comments section, and save this video for the future. Come back to it every so often and let us know how you're doing. Also, thanks to those of you who watched this Sunday motivational video all the way through. We want to let you know about a special bonus. This is the graph of how exciting your trip is. At first, you're very excited, and that excitement peaks on the day you decide to launch. Then you realize how hard it all is, how much there is to learn, and how much you don't know. Most of you are probably in this dip right now. Please just keep going, okay? It will get better, and it will get better quickly. Surprisingly, most of the accelerated growth in excitement happens in phase 2, when the business starts to gain traction and you can link your work to real returns. You'll find that your work gives you a sense of purpose and makes you happy. Phase 2 is what makes you a real person. You can build something of value, but you make 80% of your money in phase 3, so as you get richer, the excitement level goes down. We already said that the time frame might be different, so adjust to your own life, but we didn't pick the 5-year period at random. We've had hundreds of meetings with serial entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and startups, and we've noticed a pattern. After 5 years, something needs to change and a new wave needs to come. After 5 years, the same business model is no longer attractive. To keep yourself interested and entertained from that point on, you need to upgrade, change, pivot, grow, or grow into a different market. It's not about the money anymore once you realize you're good at making it. So you start to give yourself challenges and see how big you can make it. Let's do it as a group. Alright, if you're ready, write in the comments about evolution. Let's see how many of you are ready for what's next. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, you might want to subscribe to our channel and become part of our great community. And if you want to see more, we chose this video for you to watch next.